If you're an owner-operator trying to decide between using load boards or a dispatcher, this decision directly affects your income more than most people realize. Because in trucking, it's not just about how many miles you drive. It's about how efficiently those miles turn into profit. And that's something most drivers learn the hard way. At first, everything looks simple. You think more loads means more money. More miles means more income. And whichever tool gives you freight faster must be the better option. But the reality is very different. Most drivers don't realize they are not just choosing a tool. They are choosing a system. A system that decides how much they earn, how often they run, and how stable their business becomes. Load boards look simple on the surface. You open an app, scroll through available freight, and pick a load that fits your truck. It feels like freedom. It feels like control. But what most people don't see is what's happening behind the scenes. Every load you see has already gone through layers of competition. Hundreds of drivers are looking at the same freight at the same time. Brokers often post lower rates, first just to test the market. And in many cases, the best paying freight is already gone before it even appears publicly. So what actually happens in real time? Drivers refresh the app again and again. They compare rates. They wait. They hesitate. And then they rush to accept whatever is still available. Not necessarily what is profitable, just what is left. And slowly, without realizing it, many drivers fall into a cycle. A cycle where decisions are based on availability instead of strategy, where time pressure replaces negotiation, and where profit becomes secondary to just staying moving. Now, on the other side, we have dispatchers. And this is where the system changes completely. A good dispatcher is not just someone who finds loads. They operate more like a logistics strategist. They build long-term relationships with brokers. They understand which lanes pay better over time. They know how to negotiate rates that most individual drivers never even see. They reduce deadhead miles by planning smarter routes. And most importantly, they often secure freight before it ever hits public load boards. That last part is critical because it changes the entire game. Instead of competing in a public marketplace, you are being positioned inside a private flow of freight. That means fewer drivers competing for the same load, less pressure to accept low rates, and more consistent opportunities designed around your truck's movement. So when it comes to income, the difference becomes very clear. Load board users often experience inconsistency. One week might feel strong. The next week might feel slow. Rates change quickly depending on how many drivers are chasing the same freight. It becomes reactive business. You react to what appears. You react to what disappears. And you react to market pressure in real time. But dispatcher-supported carriers usually operate differently. They experience more structured planning. Their lanes are built with intention. Their rates are negotiated in advance or through relationships. And their weekly income becomes far more predictable over time. But here is the real truth most people miss. Load boards give you control, but also expose you to maximum competition. You decide every load. You choose every route, but you also compete with everyone else doing the same thing. Dispatchers reduce your control, but increase your consistency and strategy. You rely on someone else's system, but that system is designed to reduce wasted time, reduce empty miles, and improve average revenue per load. So it's not about which one is good or bad. It's about understanding what stage your business is in. If you are experienced in negotiating rates, building broker relationships, and analyzing freight markets, load boards can absolutely work for you. But you must treat it like a full-time strategy, not just an app you open randomly. However, if your goal is to reduce stress, save time, and improve consistency in your weekly income, then a dispatcher system can give you structure that is hard to build alone. Because trucking success is not just about finding freight. It's about building a system where freight finds you in a smarter, more profitable way. At the end of the day, the difference is simple but powerful. One approach keeps you reactive. You are constantly responding to what the market gives you in the moment. The other approach makes you strategic. You operate with planning, relationships, and long-term positioning in mind. And over time, that difference becomes the line between struggling carriers and growing carriers. If you are tired of guessing, tired of inconsistent weeks, and ready to start making more calculated freight decisions, then it may be time to rethink your system entirely. Because in trucking, profit is not just about distance. It's about direction, timing, and strategy.